What it do, y'all? Your boy is back as promised with an overview of the 78 Caprice Procharged 5.3 LS swapped Caprice Classic Aerocoupe. Let's get it. All right, y'all. So here we go. 1978 Caprice Classic Aerocoupe came stock with a 305. Never had intentions to do an LS swap on it, but then, long story short, I just kind of got a bug. I actually got hurt and I couldn't work for a while, and I just started researching LS swaps, and then now this happened. So 5.3 4L60E junkyard motor I got off Facebook for about 1,500 bucks altogether. Got the engine, tore it down, and rebuilt it from basically the block up. The whole top end is brand new, the bottom end is stock. Flat top pistons. I have stock rods, Trojan upgrade, stock rockers. I have trick flow, chrome moly, push rods, new valve seats, stock valves. I have Pac 12-18 springs, good up to 600 lift. I have a Elgin 1839 cam. The specs on it are 220, 224, and 114 LSA, I believe. LS7 lifters and stock heads, no port jobs or anything. I just cleaned them up, and that's pretty much it, y'all. The intake is actually from a Trailblazer SS direct fit on these engines. This is a simple upgrade, y'all, that you can actually do for if you can find one, and it's good for up to like 25 to 30 horsepower. There is data and videos out there on that. Sloppy Mechanics did a great one by just changing the intake alone. Going Trailblazer SS intake, you can definitely increase the flow of everything and gain more horsepower. I was able to modify it and use my stock truck style fuel rail, because this one actually has its own separate fuel rail that won't technically work on this. Well, it will work. You just have to do a separate fuel pressure regulator and mount it somewhere else. But I wanted to keep my stock fuel setup that I had, so I modified a separate crossover fuel rail, and I modified it myself to fit. I have videos on that. You do have to get an adapter to run your truck throttle body to this intake, because the bolt pattern is different. Stock bottom end, truck accessories, upgraded alternator, good for 140 amps, Summit. I do have the Procharger set up. It's a D1 SE brand Procharger. I got it off Facebook Marketplace. Got the bracket off Facebook Marketplace. Got the piping, all the piping, the intercooler off of eBay. I was able to mount the intercooler in here. Actually fit really good. This intercooler is actually a little bit of overkill for this setup. However, it gives me room to grow. So this intercooler is good up to about 1,000 horsepower. Right now, on a conservative tune, this engine is making about 600-ish. So I have room to grow if I want to go that route down the road. AC is added in. This was an original AC car, except I took the unit from 89 to 90 box Chevy and I installed it in here. The only thing that's not 89 to 90 box Chevy is this line right here. I took that to a hydraulic hose shop and then made it shorter and made it work this particular setup. The condenser is also from an 89 to 90 box Chevy. On the normal condenser for this particular year, 78 Caprice, hoses, the connections for the condenser were on this side, and the hoses were like really long and they ran all the way around. The 89 and 90 relocated them here for the new lines. Works perfect. That's what I wanted. This radiator from Summit, Griffin radiator, works great. Electric fans, got those from the junkyard from a 2004 Dodge Stratus. They work perfect, y'all. They just don't cover the whole radiator, but that's okay. General rule of thumb, as long as you have about 70% or more of the radiator covered, it should cool perfectly fine. I do have an oil catch can right there. What else am I missing? The wiring harness is all done by me. Stock truck wiring harness, I didn't care about hiding it. I actually have the computer over there. I didn't care if wires were like really showing. I don't really care. I didn't really care on this particular car. There's wires everywhere anyway, so I really don't care. As long as everything is kind of nice and neat. It actually looks kind of like stock, you know, like this thing belonged in here. It does give a little bit of shock value when you open the hood, and that's what I was kind of going after. So heat works, AC blows cold, front discs, rear drums, and we'll talk about the rear end here in a moment. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. Everything else is good to go. I did install my trans cooler. If you guys didn't see that, trans cooler does hang a little bit low. I think I need to upgrade the springs. That's probably my next project I'm going to do, is upgrade the springs just to stock springs. I think these are the original ones, and they're sagging, and the car is lower than it probably should be. So I do want to replace the springs. I actually do want to replace the whole front suspension at some point, but that's going to come later on, probably after all this coronavirus stuff passes and I'm able to work and stack my chips up again so I can pay for these projects. Other than that, if I take you further back, again, stock bottom end. Oh, I have a GM Performance oil pan that fit perfectly. Stock clamshell motor mounts. I replaced all the motor mounts and everything just using my stock clamshells, and the adapters are ICT billet. I think I have it set on the furthest setting back, or the second to last setting back, and so I think the engine is sitting a little bit further back if I can remember correctly. 460E transmission. If you haven't watched my recent videos, I upgraded that. Well, it's the same 460E version of a transmission, I just upgraded it so it would have some shift kit, Corvette servo, some other odds and ends. It's kind of mostly stock, but it's actually perfect for my particular setup and will handle the horsepower and the type of driving that I'm putting out. 2200 to 2500 stall. I previously had a 2800 to 3200 stall. It was a little bit too much, so this particular build I went to a different stall, and it should be far better for this particular setup and the way that I drive. Oh man, hopefully I'm not forgetting anything under the hood here. If I remember, I'll come back to it. The cross member for the transmission is the stock cross member. I have it notched out on one side for the exhaust so I can run duals. On this particular cross member, it only has one hump on one side, I think the passenger side, because there was a single exhaust in the back. A buddy of mine who has a shop was able to modify this one to make it fit, and works perfect. I did have to shorten my drive shaft. I don't know how people are using the stock drive shafts on these. This oil pan basically barely cleared by like an inch from front to back from where the cross member sits and the oil pan sits, and because of that I had to shorten my drive shaft about 2 to 3 inches, I believe. So maybe I'm doing something wrong, I don't know, but I did have to shorten my drive shaft on mine. Take it to the rear end. The rear end is from a 94 to 96 Caprice or Impala SS. It's actually a direct fit on these cars, y'all, on these 77 to 90 box Chevys. They fit right in. This particular rear end has been upgraded. I bought it like that. It has 373 gears, Eaton Posi, 30 spline axles, the works, y'all, the works. Has tons of money dumped into it. The guy was just selling it because he was going a different route. Actually came out of a 78 Impala Aerocoupe, I believe. He had planned to put it in, but never did. I also bought from him some Hotchkiss upper and lower control arms, and at some point I would like to get a rear sway bar for that as well. Pretty much the whole back end is new. Pretty much everything from the drivetrain, the engine back, is all new or newer or not a OG to this car. So it's kind of cool because I leave everything on the outside stock, but underneath you open the hood and then look underneath, it's totally not stock. That's exactly what I wanted. You guys followed the HID headlights and the LEDs. If you haven't, those are under my most recent videos. These are actually switchback lights. I got these off of Amazon, so they stay on white, like really bright white since they're LEDs, but when you hit the turn signal, they actually blink amber or the orange color like this, and then they go back to white. So that's pretty cool. It's really cheap, inexpensive upgrade. It was like 15 bucks for the lights. If I go inside here, everything is OG. I got this from an older lady, one owner car, had 80,000 miles, original on it, and she hardly ever had anybody in the car, mainly just her. She said hardly anybody ever sat in the passenger seat and nobody really ever sat in the back seat. That's just crazy. But you can definitely tell it's super, super clean. The only thing that I've done to it is put the center console in. She had the stereo in it and some 6x9s installed in the back already. And me and my girl did the headliner. Got this material off of eBay. Perfect match to this interior. I haven't done anything else. It does have electric cutouts. I put those in so I can open the cutouts and it'll sound like a freaking NASCAR, y'all. She did add cruise control. She took this car to Palm Springs often. So from Seattle to Palm Springs, she drove back a lot. And she said it handled great. So she added cruise control for that reason. I was able to tie this cruise control into the stock truck cruise control unit, and it actually works perfect, y'all. Take it to the back. Nothing really much done in the back except for I have the trunk looks normal, and then I have two 12-inch subs in the back and a couple amps, and they beat pretty good. Nothing crazy. The trunk ain't rattling like crazy or nothing, but for this particular car, man, it sounds really, really good. Shoot, y'all, other than that, I mean, nothing much that I can just remember. I mean, this car is a blast to drive. It has power when I want it, but it'll drive just like a normal car should if I daily drive it. If I just kind of stay out of it, it'll just drive normal. But if I want to get on it, it'll get out like a bat out of hell, y'all. I mean, it moves really, really good, and it definitely shocks some people, especially when I pull up the shows and I open up the cutouts. It's crazy, y'all. It's crazy. If you guys have any questions as to what I've done or any questions about the car just in general, definitely leave a comment in the comment section. I'll try to answer it the best that I can. Oh, that's pretty much it. So here she is, 78 Caprice Classic Procharged 5.3 460E Aerocoupe. I'm just ready to drive it with this new transmission, y'all. Ready to drive it. So if you guys haven't subscribed yet, definitely subscribe. If you're new to the channel, here she is. I'm also doing a Chevelle restoration, and I have a 1987 Regal T, so it has a turbo V6 in it. I don't put that on the channel too much, but I would like to start adding that to the channel as well. Other than that, y'all, you guys know what to do, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Do all that good stuff. Stay with me here, and man, let's get some of these videos to get more views, y'all. I kind of been staying at the same consistent views, anywhere from 200 to 300 views. Every now and then I'll get a video that might go 400 to 500 views, but for the amount of traffic that my channel gets and the amount of interaction from everybody here, I definitely feel like the likes and the views should definitely be a little bit more. So if I'm doing something wrong or something you guys would like to see more of or less of or whatnot, definitely let me know, y'all, and I'll try to add that in. I'm always up for constructive criticism, feedback, whatever. I don't take anything as a negative. All things positive, and if anything in regards to the channel that I can do to make it better, I want to make it better, not only for myself but for you guys. All right, so anyways, that's pretty much it, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here and get back in. So me and my girl are gonna start binge watching some shows since we got nothing else to do, and we're gonna get after it. All right, deuces, y'all, and I'll talk to you later.